You work in Microsoft, it maintains you for a month, 2 months, 6 months, 6 years. Your 401k, it serves you for some time. And you serve your wife. Just like I had a friend of mine, he called me up one day. I said, how are you feeling? He said, very sad. I said, very sad? How come? He said, let me tell you the story of my life. I said, okay. He said, when I first got married with my wife, I was in Vaikuntha. I was in ecstasy. She was so beautiful, she was so nice. That lasted about 6 months. After that, I've been living in hell for the last 40 years. I said, what happened? Well, she doesn't put on lipstick, she doesn't put on high heels, she doesn't put on makeup, she doesn't cook for me, she doesn't do anything. She just complains. I said, you're a very lucky man. He said, what do you mean, lucky? I said, you're a very lucky man, she loves you very much. What? How can you say that? He said, look, if you were attached to her, if she was pleasing you all the time, then at the moment of death you would think about her and you become a woman in your next life. So she's saving you from that death and rebirth again. So he was like confused, he didn't know what to say. Well, of course, that's what happened to King Puranjan. He was so attached to his wife, next life he became a woman and his wife became the husband. You see. So, therefore, these roles, husband and wife, they're very fluctuating. But what's not fluctuating is when husband and wife come to the conclusion, we are both servants of Krishna. I'm not exactly your servant, you're not exactly my servant, but we should both serve Krishna. Then the love becomes eternal. Because Krishna is eternal. As long as we direct our love to something temporary, it becomes relative. Relative means it's there, like the Twin Towers were there, they're not there anymore. It's relative. So love between two bodies is relative. Love between two souls is eternal. And tonight I'm going to tell everybody a secret. This secret actually costs about $100,000. You're getting a bargain tonight. You're going to get it for free. Now, gentlemen, I want to tell you something about women. Women already know this. You don't know it. You're all in ignorance. You're living in avidya. You treat your wife very nice. Now, when women get married, they get married expecting to be happy the rest of their life. Is that right? Did any of you get married hoping to suffer the rest of your life? No. You all got married expecting to be happy the rest of your life. And they were expecting their husband to be a nice guy, always a gentleman, always speaking nicely, always being thoughtful. And every little thing counts. Little things count. Big things don't count. The little things count. You know, a nice gesture. In fact, there's an organization that we started in Portland, Oregon called Little Gestures. So we do charitable work, but little things that people appreciate it very much. In fact, our organization won the prize, #1 prize in Intel for the whole country because they were doing such nice charitable work, but little gestures. So anyway, if you treat your wife really nice, why? Because wife is called Devi, which means goddess, right? So you should treat her like a goddess. Is that right, ladies? Yeah. Okay. So, then the wife becomes Yogamaya. See, there's a difference in Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Yogamaya is the illusion by which you come closer to Krishna. And Mahamaya is the illusion by which you go farther away from Krishna. So you treat your wife nice, always a gentleman, always never any nasty words, always sweet words, uplifting words. And the only way you can do that, param drištva nivartate, if you have a higher taste in your life. So that higher taste is not carnal pleasure, the higher taste is pleasing Krishna. So if both husband and wife work to please Krishna, you live very peacefully. And what is the result? Wife is Yogamaya. But if you don't treat your wife nicely and speak harshly and do mean things, then she becomes Durgamaya. Durgama. Durga has 10 arms, and in each arm there's a weapon. Terrible weapons, and it's crushing the miscreants. Mahisasura, yes, crushing Mahisasura. You're Mahisasura. You're being crushed by Durga. So, this is a secret. This actually costs $100,000. If I was a psychologist and you came to me, I would charge you $100,000 for this secret. But today you get it for free. That's if you want to be happy. If you don't want to be happy, don't listen to anything I say. Just ignore it. But if you want to be happy in this life, and Krishna says, Nasti buddhi ayuktasya, nacha yuktasya bhavana, nacha bhavyatak santir, asantasya kutasukam. A person who, nasti buddhi ayuktasya, doesn't have a connection to Krishna, how can he have good intelligence or a peaceful mind? It's not possible. And without a peaceful mind and good intelligence, it's not possible to have any peace, shanti. And without peace, there's no possibility of happiness. Asantasya kutasukam. So, when wife and children are happy, you have a peaceful mind. And your intelligence works good at that point. Because you make the right decisions. Yes, I should move closer to the temple so we can come easier to the temple every day. At least once a day we should have darshan of the deities. We should maybe hear Bhagavad Gita. We have Bhagavad Gita every night here. And we should have some prasad. And in the class, the Pandit was saying how Ravana is a very bad man. Yes, I'm going to go to sleep meditating how Ravana is bad and Ram is good. And when I wake up, I'm going to think how wonderful Bharat is also. Bharat is such a gentleman. He never thought for 1 minute to take advantage of Ram. Who is there in this world like Bharat? Aurangzeb? Oh. Aurangzeb put his mother and father in prison, killed two of his brothers, and exiled another one, and seized all their kingdoms. Right? But Bharat, he put Ram's chappals on his head, went back to Ayodhya, put the chappals on the throne, and every day he dressed like a sadhu in the jungle. He had matted hair. He slept on the ground, and he came every day. He managed the kingdom. And when Ram came back, he handed the kingdom to him. He said, "Now the owner of the chappals is here. Please sit on the throne." Not 1 minute, not 1 second did he ever think of taking advantage of Ram. Who is there like this in the world? We should think about people like Bharat. Okay, so in this verse, there's a lot of interesting points. It explains what is actual spiritual realization. And the first point is, one gives up attachment to materialism. Materialism is what? Bhogaishvarya prashaktanam tayaparata chetasam vyavasatmika buddhir samadhana vidyate. Bhoga and Aishvarya, that's materialism. Wealth and sense gratification. You need money in order to have sustained sense gratification. That's material life. So, one gives up attachment to that. That doesn't mean that money is bad. It means that the lust for money, power, and sense gratification is bad. So, you can only eat, let's say, 3 or 4 rotis at one time. If you eat 12 or 15, you get a stomachache. How much do 3 or 4 rotis cost? Not even $1. Right? Let's say you eat twice a day, that's $2. Let's say you have some sabji and other things with it. Let's say it's $10. Let's say you have some protein shake and something else. All right, so you spend $20. Let's say you like some ladus and rasmalai and all of that. Okay, so you spent $30. But you earned $100,000 in one day. And it only costs you $30 to live. So what do you do with the rest of the money? Do you stuff it in your pockets like this? You put it in the bank? And when you die, people say he had $4 billion when he died. What good is that? That's no good. People say, oh, I'm glad he died. Such a stingy man. They were once a husband and wife. They were very poor. And they lived in a small hut. And they had one sewing machine. So the husband would work the sewing machine 12 hours during the day. And the wife would work the sewing machine 12 hours at night. This way they eked out a living. After about 10 years, they saved 4,000 rupees. So the wife said to the husband, let's buy a nice house. He said, okay, we worked so hard, you deserve it. So they bought a nice house. They were living in a part of the village where richer people lived. One day some dacoits came and they attacked one house of the rich people, killed the people and took everything. The next day everyone was talking, oh my God, they didn't go to the poor neighborhood, they came to the rich neighborhood. They broke in at night, they killed the family and took all the money. So now this husband and wife, they were in deep anxiety. What are we going to do? So the wife said, let's go sleep back in the hut again tonight. Lock the doors of the house. So they did that. They didn't give up their hut. Next night, another house was attacked. The people were killed, all the money, everything was stolen. And the husband and wife were in anxiety. What should we do? He said, the problem is the house. Just like once there was a crow. And the crow picked up a fish and started flying. And all the other crows followed it. So the crow went up, all the other crows went up. The crow went this way, all the other crows went that way. The crow went that way, all the other crows went that way, following him. Finally the crow got tired, he dropped the fish. All the crows went toward the fish. Then the crow was sitting on a branch. You know, the only problem was the fish. As soon as I got to go to the fish, nobody bothered me again. So in the same way, they were thinking, you know, when we were poor, nobody bothered us. Then we bought this house, and now dacoits are killing all the rich people. So the wife said to the husband, what should we do? He said, I don't know. Let's go talk to the sadhu. So there was one sadhu living nearby, and they went to him and said, Sadhuji, this is our problem, what should we do? And he smiled. He said, you should sell the house. Okay, but that's a problem too. Then we'll have the money. What should we do with the money? He said, yes, you should build an orphanage. There's so many poor children in this village and other villages, and some of them don't have parents. And he said, I will open an orphanage. You go back and live in the hut, and you give some donation every month. We'll maintain the children. So husband and wife looked at each other. They thought about it. And they said, if anyone else had told us that, we would say no. But because you are a genuine sadhu, we're going to believe you. We'll do it. They sold the house, gave the money to the sadhu. Sadhu built an orphanage for poor children. And every month they went back to the hut. Husband is working 12 hours, wife is working 12 hours. But they were safe and happy. And the children would come and visit them. They would say, Pitaji, Mataji, kya hai? So they felt very satisfied that their money was being used for a good service. And they lived happily like that. And the children grew up, and when Pita and Mata became old, they took care of them. They were always safe. You see? So this is very interesting. This is what happens when one gives up attachment to Bhoga and Aishwarya. One uses, that doesn't mean you reject the Bhoga and Aishwarya. You use these things to please Krishna. Now if Krishna is pleased, and we're part and parcel of Krishna, Mamayavam sa jiva loka, jiva bhuta sanatana, you must be pleased too, because we're part and parcel of Krishna. So this is wisdom. Of course, nobody's interested in wisdom today. Everybody likes to see Miley Cyrus stick her tongue out and gross everybody out. But when you become interested in actually how to be happy in this lifetime, then you take advice from genuine sadhus. Genuine sadhus mean not the ones that have the gold chain, the big fat guy with the Rolex, he's got the Mercedes outside. That's not sadhu. Sadhu, he uses everything for Krishna, and he lives very simply. And you're definitely sure that that person is honest, because you've been watching them for a long time. Therefore, you can trust such people. So first thing on the path of self-realization is giving up attachment to materialism. And the second thing is learning or leaning towards impersonalism. Now that sounds strange. Why would that be the second thing? Because when you give up attachment to material things, you naturally think, I should give everything up. Just like sometimes I've seen sadhus, they come and someone says, Maharaj, please take this offering. He said, is that money? Yes, I never touch money. Just give it to my servant. Now, what's the difference if he takes the money or the servant takes the money? But he's playing a game, see? So, oh no, I never touch money. Give it to my servant. See? But Prabhupada said, you give him money. He said, yes, I will take, and I'll use it for Krishna. So money is not dirty if it's used for Krishna. But if we play this game, no, I don't touch money. Give it to my servant. That's nonsense, because he's going to use the money for sense gratification. You know. Oh, okay, so now one leans toward impersonalism. Personalism is rejecting everything. But personalism is accepting everything to serve Krishna. There's a major difference. Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjitaha. Anything that can be used in the service of Krishna that is not used in the service, that's false renunciation. Okay. And then 3, but when someone advances, they realize that there are activities in spiritual life, and that devotional service is the activity of eternity. So we teach people how to serve Krishna here and in your home. Your home is also can become a temple. And when you're serving Krishna with your family, family is very peaceful. You have Tulsi in the house, you have little deity of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda or Radha Krishna, and you're trained how to serve them nicely, then you live a very peaceful life. Doesn't matter you're rich or poor, because you have love, you have peace, you have happiness. And then one becomes attached to Lord Krishna and desires to surrender completely to the Lord. And then one understands that Krishna's mercy is everything. Yasha prasada bhagavat prasada, yasha prasadana nagatir katopi. By the mercy of the spiritual, by the grace of the spiritual master, one gets the mercy of Krishna. Without pleasing the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. So this is the fundamental principle of spiritual life. Learning from the spiritual master how to please Krishna, and if the spiritual master is pleased with your service, you know for sure Krishna is pleased. And then realizing Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Krishna, you are everything for me. And then one realizes that the entire material manifestation is not independent of Krishna. It's all functioning under his control. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetanane nukonteya jagat viparivartate. Krishna says his whole material manifestation is functioning under my control. And then one realizes that the material manifestation is simply a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur once said that this material world is the dictionary of the spiritual world. In other words, if you carefully observe things in this material world, you can understand many things about the spiritual world, because it's a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. If you observe yourself carefully, you can understand many things about who Krishna is. And then one realizes that everything is in relationship to Lord Krishna. Nothing is independent of the Lord. And that's when you begin to develop a universal vision of the Lord. You'll see how Krishna is present in everything. Upadastana mantra cha pratapukta maheshwara paramatmiti chapi tehesmin purushat para. Krishna is the upadrasta, the overseer. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridde Serarjuna Tistati. He's in the heart of every living entity. And He's overseeing all the activities that we perform. He's permitting us to do things. Whether I want to commit sin or I want to perform bhakti, I have to have Krishna's help either way. And once one has that universal vision of the Lord, then one surrenders completely to Lord Krishna, because one does not see anything that's not connected to Krishna. So these are some symptoms of real self-realization. So now we will have our arti. We'll go on with this subject next week. And right after the arti, short arti. Right after the arti, we'll have a presentation by our two sincere devotees about the wonderful new temple coming up in Sridham, Mayapur. Jaya Gora Chande Arati Ke Soba Jana Vitata Vade Jagamana Loba Radhikaya. Madhur 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 Bhaje. Shanka Bhaje, Nanda Bhaje, Madhur 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 Bhaje. Madhur Madhur Bhaje. Madhur 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 Bhaje. Madhur 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 Bhaje. Madhur 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 Bhaje. Kalare Silatam Uttami Singha Parato Nishinha Yato Yato Yamitato Nishinha Narashinama Dihim Saranama Papane Tabakara Kamala Barena Kamaruta Shinham Dalita Hiranya Kasipu Tanubinham Keshava Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadeshare Jaya Jagadeshare Jaya Jagadeshare Tapachala Kamala Varena Kamadita Singham Dalita Hiranya Kasipu Tanubinham Jaya Jagadeshare Jaya Jagadeshare Jaya Narasingade Jaya Narasingade Jaya Narasingade Narasingade Jaya Mr. Pad, Paramahansa Paravajika Chasta Tarasatari Shri Srimad Divine Grace Sri Bhaktisiddhantha Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Alanta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Musical Host Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Swami Kunda Radha Kundi Giri Godam Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Samveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavani Paskatya Desatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai Shri Radha Nilamadhavi Ki Jai Shridham Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Gaura Premanandi Haribo Haribo. So we have a few announcements, and then we're going to have our presentation on the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. Yes. And this is a wonderful presentation. Please stay. The prasadam is not going away. I can guarantee you. So tonight we want to thank, first of all, on the 15th of December, that's next week, we have the Gita Jayanti. Now I'm going to ask for your cooperation for Gita Jayanti. Gita Jayanti means the appearance of the Bhagavad Gita. It was spoken 5,000 years ago, and we celebrate it every year. But on this occasion, like we did last year, we want to have a marathon. We want many people to get the Gita. So I'm requesting everyone to take some Gitas from us. Take 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or a box. How much is in a box? How much? 20 in a box. Take 20. Keep it at home and give it out to your friends and relatives, co-workers, strangers, anybody. Let them get a chance to hold Bhagavad Gita. That'll be a very nice service. So how much does a box cost? How much? $200 for a box? That's $10 a piece? No, we want to give a discounted rate. Huh? What? Huh? Yeah, we're giving a cut rate. This is Walmart price today. You get $100 for a box of 20 Bhagavad Gitas. We want to make it real easy, painless for everyone. You know, I know how hard it is to put the hand in the pocket. To take it out, you have the credit card machine, whatever. Take one box, give it out to your friends and relatives. It's a very wonderful thing to do. That's Srimad Bhagavad Gita Grantha Raj Ki Jai. That's next. So 15th of December is what? Saturday or Sunday? Sunday. Wonderful. We begin at 3 o'clock reciting the entire Bhagavad Gita. It usually takes 2.5 hours. It's a very auspicious thing. We're going to recite the entire Bhagavad Gita. It goes very nicely. Every year my heart is very satisfied after reciting the whole Bhagavad Gita. So please come, if you like, at 3 o'clock. We'll recite the whole Bhagavad Gita next week. And we'll have Gita Jayanti. There's a fire sacrifice. After every chapter, people can come and sponsor a chapter, recitation of a chapter. If you have the name of a loved one that's passed or anything like that, you write the name and you offer it into the fire with the blessing. Then on the 21st of December, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better be good, 'cause I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. On the 21st of December, I got a cell phone call from Santa Claus. He lives on the North Pole. He said, Prabhu, I'm sick and tired of going down the chimneys. That's why I'm going to land Rudolph and the reindeers on the roof. You don't have a chimney, that's very good. I'm going to land on the roof and come down, and I have plenty of presents, but only for those kids that chant Hare Krishna. You chant Hare Krishna? Yeah? Then you get a present. So practice, but you better be good. And there's no crying, and no making bad faces, only smiley faces. Then Santa Claus is going to give you a very nice present. And every year people say, oh, we know Hari Vilas is Santa Claus. No, I'm not Santa Claus. The real Santa Claus is coming, and he's a Punjabi saint called Sant Claus. You see? Comes from Punjab originally, but he lives in the North Pole now. Okay, so that's the 21st, the Saturday. Santa Claus is coming. It's going to be a real fun time. Please come. And also, 21st of December is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day. There will be a celebration at noon. And on the 24th of December is Christmas Eve dinner and kirtan. I'm going to make Christmas dinner. This will be a real American Christmas dinner. And on and also December 14th is the next Saki Sangha, only for ladies, no cross-dressers allowed. This is only for ladies, and it's all about your emotions and how to control them. December 14th. Okay, so now the sponsors today are Amar Prabhu and Sobha Mataji on the occasion of Sindhu's birthday. Where's Sindhu? There she is. Haribol, Haribol. How old is Sindhu? How old are you, Sindhu? 9. How many fingers is that? Let me see. How many fingers? Very good. Okay. What do you want to be when you grow up, Sindhu? Tell me.
I don't know.
You don't know? Yeah, you know. You want to be a devotee? Yeah. Okay, say that. I want to be a devotee.
I want to be a devotee.
Now, we're going to bless you that you're going to be a devotee. Besides all the other wonderful things you're going to do, Sindhu. And we pray for you tonight. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna dear Sindhu, Hare Krishna to you. Haribol. And I have a little present for you a little later on, Sindhu. Thank you very much. And Amar and Soba have donated $51 on occasion of Sindhu's birthday. So now we're going to go right to our presentation. I'm going to invite our two nice devotees here. Radha Jivan Prabhu, he's a very dedicated devotee. He has given the greater part of his wealth, and that's a lot of money, to Krishna consciousness. I've known him for many years. He used to run the clothing and gift shop in Mayapur. He was already a crorepati at that time. Then he came to America and started a very successful business importing silk clothing from India. And of course, I'm sure he's expanded tremendously over the years. And he's been very generous. He's one of the main donors for the new temple that's going up in Las Vegas. If you want to go and lose your money in a casino and then go to the Hare Krishna temple and beg for forgiveness, you can do that. There's going to be a beautiful temple. Don't go to the casino, just go to the temple. So thank you very much, Radha Jivan. Hare Krishna.
No, it's how long did I have? As long as you want to. Half hour okay? Or good? Yeah. Just a chair. I'm so ready. Yeah. Come on, Paul. Hare Krishna. First, my obeisances and dandavats to Hari Vilas Prabhu. I'm seeing you after 25 years, I think. I was a boy when I last met you. And I want to congratulate all the devotees here in the temple on this wonderful job, this love and devotion that you have put into putting this temple together. Hare Krishna. It's the first time I'm visiting here. I heard so much about the temple, but to be here this evening and see the dedication and devotion of the congregation and of course the leadership of our Hari Vilas Prabhu has manifested in this beautiful temple here. Srila Prabhupada one time said, I do not want the world to say they came, they chanted, they danced, and they went away. Therefore, build temples. Because if we don't have temples, then that would be the destiny of this organization. We would have come, chanted, and danced, and disappeared in oblivion. So Srila Prabhupada very much wanted that temples should be built, houses should be built, these monuments and houses. They are the container in which bhakti and jnana are poured into it. And they remain there. Therefore, these facilities are important. These facilities are important for our own sake and for the sake of the generations to come. Individually, all of us, we are doing so much sacrifice for our children, for our generations to come. We give them education, we give them love and care, we give them houses to live in. But such facilities can only be made when we work collectively together. It is not possible for any one of us to be able to build such a temple and then to have so many people participate and get spiritual enhancement. So this is collective effort. one of the last instructions, and very, very deep and serious instructions of Srila Prabhupada. He was very concerned because he knew this is Kali Yuga, and the symptoms of Kali Yuga and how the people of Kali Yuga behave. So he said, your love for me will show as to how well all of you cooperate with each other. That will be the symptom, that will be the thermometer of your love for me. So this has come due to cooperation of all of you community members, and today it is manifested, and I'm hearing that within 4 years you are already set to build another temple, and I want to congratulate you for that also. Hare Krishna. This is the way. If there is no sacrifice, there is no devotion. The symptom of devotion is sacrifice. One saint in India said, sacrifice is higher than prayer. We pray, that is wonderful, but sacrifice is higher. The gopis are the highest devotees in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because of the sacrifice they made on the night of Rasa Leela. In the middle of the night, far away from the villages of the gopis, Krishna played this beautiful melody, and the gopis could not contain themselves. They had to run, and they ran. They were serving their husbands, they were serving their father-in-laws, their mother-in-laws, their children, their pets, their animals. They left everything, and they ran. And their fathers were calling, their father-in-laws were calling, their husbands were calling. They were getting upset and angry. If you leave right now, wherever you are going, make sure you do not come back to the village. You will not be allowed back. And of course they knew they would not be allowed back to their homes and villages. But they did not care. They sacrificed it for Krishna. And they went to Krishna in the middle of the night. And so Krishna performed Rasa Leela with them. You see, and that sacrifice. At that time Krishna said, he said, Na pariye ham, I will never in my life, or even after life, in many, many lives, be able to pay the debt of your sacrifice tonight. What you have done for me, I will never be able to repay back. So this is bhakti. Bhakti is nothing but gratitude. Gratitude to the Supreme Lord. My dear Lord, we now understand we are part and parcel of you. We now understand we are your eternal servants. We understand everything, your contributions in our lives. The air that we breathe is given to you, is given by you. The water we drink is given by you. The food we eat is given by you. Our very life, everything that you give us, the human life that you have given us, so rare, is given to us by you. When the living entity, when the human being understands, then he becomes a bhakta, a devotee in gratitude. And so also Krishna reciprocates in gratitude. He is full of gratitude for the smallest thing that a devotee does, a living entity does for him. He never forgets. And that is why, like Prabhuji was mentioning in class this evening, that we are bound to serve. Not for a moment we are relieved from service. Even when we sleep, we are serving our body so that we can wake up to do more service. We always have to serve. Therefore, why not find that personality who is most grateful, who will always remember our service? And that is God. That is Krishna. He will always remember. Never will he forget any little service that we ever do to him. And this is why our acharyas have made tremendous sacrifice in order to make advancement towards Krishna, in order to please Krishna. Look at Raghunath Das Goswami. He was so rich. He had the most beautiful wife, but he gave it all up to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was begging outside of Jagannath Mandir, a rich man like that was begging food outside of Mandir, and Mahaprabhu said, "Hey, Vaishya Achar." He said, "This is a prostitute's activity." And he said, how? He said, because everyone knows that you are a son of a very rich man. Therefore, very easily you will get bhiksha. You will get alms because of your background. Therefore, this is a prostitute's activity. You are prostituting your background. And then Raghunath Das Goswami understood, and he went behind on the western side of the temple where rotten food was thrown to the cows, and the cows also would not eat it because the rice was so rotten. He would pick up that rice and wash it, and he would take that Jagannath Prashadam. And then Mahaprabhu came to him and he said, Raghunath, what is it that you are hiding from me? You are eating something very precious and not sharing with me. So this is how it is. Krishna tests our sacrifice, but when we make the sacrifice, he becomes extremely pleased. I will tell you a small story in this regard. This is, can I get a little water? This is a true story. About 450-500 years ago, there was a Brahmana, a devotee of the Lord, who was living in Mathura, and he had a very beautiful deity, just like our Radha Neela Madhavji. He had a Krishna deity that he would serve with great love and attention every day. But before his service, he would go to the Jamuna. He would take bath in the Jamuna, and he would come back, and then he would do Shringar. And after Shringar, he would do beautiful arati to his deity. One day when he was returning back from the Jamuna, there was a market, and in the market he saw a vendor with a basket of the most beautiful red roses that he had ever seen in his life. And immediately he became greedy. He thought to himself, if I could buy this entire basket of roses, I would dress my Lord with flower shringar. I would put beautiful, beautiful flowers all over his body. So he went to the vendor and he said, how much for the whole basket? The vendor knew the Panditji. He knew the devotee was a poor man. He said, look, it's very expensive. These are the most beautiful roses. It's too much money for you. He said, no, please tell me, how much for the entire basket of roses? So the vendor said, Panditji, it is 5 rupees. 500 years ago, 5 rupees was a lot of money. So Panditji said, done. I will get you 5 rupees. He was about to pay the vendor 5 rupees, and at that time there was a Muslim man who was going through the market wanting to buy vegetables, because Akbar, King Akbar from Agra, was going to Delhi and had camped in outside of Mathura. So he thought, oh my God, what beautiful roses. If I was to buy these roses and offer to my king, I would definitely get promotion today. So he came at that time and he said, how much for the roses? And the Brahmana devotee said, look, the deal has already been done. I'm about to pay the money. Don't ask for the price. He said, no. How much for the roses? So the vendor said, he is paying me 5 rupees. He said, I will give 10 rupees. I want it. And then Panditji said, oh my God, now he's going to take my roses away. He said, please, why are you raising the price? He said, no, I will. I want the roses. It's 10 rupees. So Panditji said, well, in that case, I have to give 15 rupees because I really want the roses. So the Muslim man said, 20 rupees. And by then, India, the crowd came all around and everyone wanted to see what was going on. This Muslim man and the Brahman Panditji, they are fighting. So then the Panditji said, well, 25 rupees, I guess. I need the roses. So then this man said, 30 rupees. And then the Panditji said, who are you? You're just raising the price like this. It's a 5 rupee thing. He said, don't you know who I am? I am the servant. I am the gulam. I am the slave of Sahanshah, Jahapana, Akbar. And with great pride and confidence, he was speaking like this. And at that time, the devotee, the Brahman, he said, oh, look at the confidence this man has, that he is the slave, he is the gulam of this mere king. And I am the gulam, I am the slave of King of Kings, Lord Krishna. And I should take defeat from this man? So Panditji said, I will give 50 rupees. So the Ghulam said, I will give 75 rupees. And it was just going up like that, and people didn't know what was going on. And at that time, the Panditji said, in that case, I will give 100 rupees for this roses. And at that time, the Muslim man, he thought that if I take this basket of roses, paying 100 rupees, my king, he is going to slit my throat. Because that's what people do. They will only love you as long as you benefit them. Otherwise, you will be kicked out of your job if you make a mistake. So he quickly slipped out. And then at that time, the vendor said, listen, Panditji, if I have to throw these roses today in the Jamuna, I will. But the basket of roses is only going to sell for 100 rupees. Because he said in this whole commotion, he won't even get 5 rupees for his roses now. The Muslim man is gone, Panditji is here. So Panditji said, don't you please worry. You wait, I'm coming. He went back to his house and he sold his house and everything at his house for 100 rupees to somebody. Brought the 100 rupees, gave it to the vendor and took the basket very pleased and happy. Took it back to his house and dressed his deities most beautifully, in the most pleasing way that he was able to actually get the roses and please his deity. And when he made the beautiful garland and put it on the deity's neck, at that very time it was 7 o'clock in the morning, and in Jatipura, in Giriraj Govardhan, Srinathji was residing at that time in Jatipura, and Gosaiji, Vithalnathji, he was the pujari and he was able to speak to Srinathji at that time. So as soon as the curtains opened in Jatipura, Srinathji had this beautiful shringar and he had his usual big garland, but his neck was like this. So Gosaiji went up to the deity, Srinathji, and said, Lalji, what is wrong? You have some pain in your neck? Why is your neck all bent like this? And Srinathji, he whispered in the ears of Gosaiji, he said, there is a devotee of mine in Mathura, and this morning he has offered me a garland whose weight I cannot bear, and therefore my neck is like this. And immediately Gosaiji sent his servants to Mathura to find out what's going on. Upon finding out, they returned the money, they got the house back, and this is how it is. So this is our Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Krishna. He feels such gratitude for the seva we do. That personality who is able to lift up the Govardhan hill was not able to lift the weight of the garland because he was in complete gratitude. Gratitude to the service, to the surrender, to the sacrifice that that devotee had made for Krishna. This is how it is. Our Srila Prabhupada, when he came to America, it was a very difficult task. He knew that there was hardly any possibility of getting success. And he knew that if he was to return back from America, back to Vrindavan, back to his god brothers, the Gaudiya Math people, they would spit at him. They would call him names. They would put fingers at him that Prabhupada had some ulterior desire to make Westerners into disciples. And therefore he went and now he's come back without anything. Prabhupada knew that this would be the possibility. But even then, because of the order of his Guru Maharaj, he took that risk. And he came to America and he struggled. But as a result, what is Krishna? How is Krishna treating our Srila Prabhupada? Any time of the day, it is 8 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in the world, and our Srila Prabhupada is being worshipped with ghee lamps. There is no king or personality in the history of the world who has been worshipped by ghee lamp 24 hours a day. This is our Lord's doing. That is Krishna's gratitude to the work that Srila Prabhupada did for him, for the surrender that Srila Prabhupada did, for the sacrifice that Srila Prabhupada did. This is the way to understand Krishna consciousness. This is the depth of Krishna consciousness. When we start to understand Krishna and his attitude and his gratitude, then we will become very sincere and serious devotees. And that same very Srila Prabhupada, he was very, very enthusiastic about making the Sri Mayapur temple. In 1972, when the land was acquired, from the moment Mayapur land was acquired, Srila Prabhupada was making enthusiastic plans about making this great grand temple. He wanted a city of Vaishnavas in Mayapur. He wanted the greatest temple in Mayapur. He asked Surabhi Prabhu to make designs at that time. Surabhi Prabhu made designs and told Prabhupada, the entire thing, the way you want it, is going to cost $80 million. He said 80 crores of rupees at that time. We have these facts in writing. At that time, the rupee was 10 rupees to $1. So 80 crores means $80 million. And Srila Prabhupada, 42 years ago, no problem. We must have a big temple. We must have the greatest temple. And on Bhaktisiddhantha Saraswati Maharaj's disappearance day, Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture in Mayapur, and his senior disciples and others were sitting there. And Srila Prabhupada said, every Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya has done something very special in Mayapur as his personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I would also like to make a very special offering from my side, my personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is this TOVP temple. This big grand temple that we are planning, that will be my personal offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in saying that, Srila Prabhupada started to cry. He could not speak anymore. And then he folded his hands to his disciples and he said, you boys and girls, please help me build this temple. A world Acharya, is such a great personality, was folding his hands in front of his own disciples and asking them to help to complete this temple. This was the internal desire of Srila Prabhupada. He wanted to make an offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to make this personal offering. Srila Prabhupada one time said, Bombay is my office, Vrindavan is my home, and Mayapur is my place of worship. Isn't it right, Prabhuji? He said, Mayapur is my place of worship. Even though Vrindavan, Prabhupada lived for so many years, he held it so dear to his life. But Mayapur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was always his worshipable Lord. And I want to inform all of you that today Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in Mayapur in the most beautiful, most gorgeous, magnanimous, huge form. Panchatattva deities are there, but they are sitting in a tent. That temple hall that you see is nothing but a tin tent. It is asbestos sheeting. One big wind would blow it away. It is shameful that a society and organization with 450 temples and over 1 million congregation members and devotees are not able to build a temple for Srila Prabhupada as our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, that yes, Prabhupada, you said our love for you will show with how well we cooperate with each other. We have cooperated with each other, and here it is. Here is the money to build the temple. We will make the sacrifice for you so that you can offer this temple to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the entire world's eyes will turn to Mayapur, will turn to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The world will inquire, who is the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for whom these people have built this magnanimous, wonderful temple? This is the effect huge temples and monuments have on the hearts of the people today. You see the Swaminarayan people, the Akshay Dham in Delhi, when the Akshay Dham opened in 2007, the Chinese government, they approached Swaminarayan people and they said, we will give you land in the heart of our city in China. You come and build a Hindu temple. It is there in writing. We have been preaching. Srila Prabhupada sent Tamal Krishna Maharaj 43 years ago to China. We have over 5,000 Chinese initiated devotees. But we are underground. We are chanting Hare Krishna underground. We should have been the ones to be invited by the Chinese government to build a Hindu temple, to build a Hare Krishna temple, if we had the Mayapur temple. Because the Mayapur temple would be so much more grand than the Akshay Dham temple in Delhi. Prabhupada was the visionary. He knew In the beginning, 1972 was when ISKCON was getting established. He knew at that time that if there was one big temple to be built by ISKCON, then all the other temples will flourish. Everyone will look to ISKCON Mayapur, and that one temple would establish ISKCON society all over the world. Srila Prabhupada knew that. When he started to build the long building, all the money that was collected to buy a very big building in New York City, Srila Prabhupada had it all transferred to Mayapur. Prabhuji knows that. And the GBC said, but Prabhupada, this money is to buy a building in New York. Prabhupada said, just send the money to Mayapur. He started to make Mayapur immediately. This is Prabhupada's vision. If we simply follow his vision, we will be able to establish Krishna consciousness on the face of this earth. It is Prabhupada's pranam mantra. Krishna prasthaya bhutale. Prasthaya means established. Prabhupada has established Krishna on this bhutal, on the face of this earth. We have to follow his moods, his visions, and then things will happen. In Hindi there is a saying, 100 sonar ki, ek lohar ki. You know, the goldsmith, he goes tuk 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 100 times, then he makes a little bend. And you call an ironsmith and he goes one boom, and he makes the same amount of bend. This is what Mayapur temple is going to do. It is going to be ek lohar ki, one temple that we will build, and everybody will accept that ISKCON Hare Krishna movement is here to stay for 10,000 years. Otherwise, our enemies and the skeptics are still thinking that we are just a passing phase. We must establish ourselves that no, we are not a passing phase. We are here to stay for generations after generations after generations. And this is why it is very important that every member of ISKCON, every member of this congregation, every person who has benefited even slightly from Srila Prabhupada must make utmost sacrifice, so much so that he becomes an example for the neighbor, he becomes an example for the fellow devotee, he becomes an example for the next door temple. Oh my God, this temple did so much for Mayapur. This is Niswartha Seva. Yes, building this temple is Niswartha Seva, but there is an element of Swartha. That Swartha is that I will be able to come to the temple. I will be able to enhance my spiritual life. My children will benefit from this temple. But what is the Swartha in building Mayapur? You may not see Mayapur for the next 5 years. When you do seva like that, that is pure bhakti. You are sacrificing, you are building this temple only for one purpose. Satisfaction of Srila Prabhupada. Satisfaction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Establishing Krishna consciousness on the planet Earth. In Mayapur. This is the only reason. With such a mood, I have simply come to ask that all of you together make a sankalpa. Individually make sacrifices and make a sankalpa. Let this temple, let Seattle Temple, just like you are making 2 temples now, let Seattle Temple give $1 million, $2 million in the next 5 years to Sridham Mayapur. Become an example for the rest of the society that one temple can make such a big sacrifice. Then this temple will be made. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he built Mahaprabhu's birthplace in Mayapur. Do you know how? He collected 1 rupee from Grihasthas in Calcutta. He went door to door, collected 50,000 rupees from 50,000 Grihasthas. And then he built the temple. In Bombay, Ambarish Prabhu, Alfred Ford, who's donated $25 million to start this project, by taking a loan. He didn't have the $25 million sitting. He took a loan of $25 million. Do you know that, Prabhuji? He took a loan of $25 million. And he gave it, and now he's paying back the loan. I don't know how many years it's going to take him to pay back that loan. But he got the project started because Srila Prabhupada had personally asked him that, Ambarish, you help me. You finance this project. Srila Prabhupada was in Bombay, and Ambarish Prabhu was going out making life members with Giriraj Swami. A big man like that, a rich man, the owner of Ford Company, was going out in the rickshaw making life members. So of course, Ambarish got sick, and he had never done anything like this in his life. So he approached Srila Prabhupada. He said, Srila Prabhupada, just let me go back to America, and I will send you all the money you need to build this Bombay temple. And Srila Prabhupada quietly told Ambarish, "No, Ambarish, I don't need your money. I want everyone to participate in building Bombay because it is for their benefit. One who builds a temple, one who participates in building this temple will eternally benefit." The Acharyas know these things. They have realization of these things. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada ji, they do not want one or two people to build this temple. This is a temple of love. This is a Mahayagya. It is a great sacrifice. When sacrifice is there, everyone who is present must do Purna Ahuti. You know Purna Ahuti? That is done by everybody. Then that sacrifice is completed. You see? So this wonderful seva is there in our lifetimes. If this temple was to be built 50 years after, none of us would be here to build this temple. If this temple was to be built 50 years before, we would have missed the opportunity to serve and contribute to this temple. See it like this. This is that wonderful time. It is almost like being there when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. Because if all of us were there as devotees, at the time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had advented, then we would have been of service to his lotus feet. This is the same thing. A temple for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal advent. If you see it like this, with this excitement, with such enthusiasm, with this kind of bhav, we will be able to very pleasingly take the responsibility, the burden of love, and build this beautiful Sri Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. Just see, Srila Prabhupada named the deities of Mayapur Radha Madhav, and then he gave us the prayer Radha Madhava every morning before Bhagavatam class. We glorify the deities of Sridham Mayapur. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhav, they are in our aradhana. They are in our prayers every morning, knowingly or unknowingly. Today the time has come to build a temple for Radha Madhava. How can we not take this opportunity? Somebody was telling me just this evening that everyone is expecting Ambarish to complete the temple. I said, even if Ambarish was to complete the temple, we should stop him. He said, no, this is our time now. Why are you taking our service away? Don't take our service away. You know, this is the mood. This is the mood of the devotee. We are building a temple for Balaji right here in Seattle. All of you know, you're devotees of Balaji. You know that story when that sadhu, he was making a very big lake, a water reservoir for Balaji. And his wife, who was pregnant, she was carrying the mud and she was dropping it and coming back. And he was digging with this very big iron rod. And then Balaji, he manifested as a young, beautiful boy. And he was taking the basket from the lady because he knew she was pregnant. And he was going and quickly dropping it and coming. So the sadhu, this great devotee, he saw that his wife was returning back very quickly. So he asked her, he said, how is it that you are returning back so quickly by throwing the mud? And she couldn't lie. She said, no, there's the one boy. He's helping me. So he went and he shooed the boy away. He said, don't you take my service away. This is my service to Balaji and my wife's service to Balaji. He said, no, I want to also help. And he chased Balaji with that rod. And he actually threw the rod at Balaji and hit Balaji and cut him. That rod is hanging in Tirupati Balaji Venkateshwar temple, I'm sure. Those of you who visited there, that rod is still hanging there to show that a devotee, he values his seva. He would not even give his seva to God. He would, no, this is my seva. You cannot have it. This is how we should have value for our seva. This is my seva. Building this temple is our seva. Why should 2 or 3 or 4 rich people build this temple and get all the mercy of Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada? So with this mood we should build this temple. This is the plea that I'm bringing to all of you. We should spread this mood amongst everybody. We should get together, make a sankalpa. Yes, I want to sacrifice. Yes, here's the starting of my sacrifice. I want to be the one who wants to participate in building this temple. This is what I want to say in the evening. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Did you want to show? We have a 6-minute little video where you will get to see Ambarish Prabhu and other senior devotees of ISKCON and what they are saying about the project. So please watch this, and after that I would like Hari Vilas Prabhu to say a few words. You have to restart with sound position.
Energizes us, especially when we chant Hare Krishna in front of Panchatattva.
The temple that we're building will have the largest kirtan hall in the world. It's over 1.5 acres. So for people to come and experience that is extremely important.
Prabhupada was planning a project that was far bigger than ever been attempted by anyone else.
Temple like this has never been built for hundreds of years. We want to make this like a gem.
Prabhupada wanted to build a planetarium because he wanted to prove to the whole world that the Big Bang theory is wrong and Krishna is the cause of all causes.
We are actually standing at the moment where the actual gardens will be for the big temple. There will be beautiful ponds and beautiful roadways and trees and flower beds everywhere.
The Temple of Vedic Planetarium is something really, really astonishing because in the history of mankind there isn't anything like that.
Mayapur is the home for all devotees. This is the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so the mercy here is very, very easy to obtain.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Mayapur is the heart and the home of the Sankirtan movement. It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's home, and it's where the spiritual world has descended to the material plane and continues to touch the material plane, and therefore energizes us, especially when we chant Hare Krishna in front of Panchatattva.
The temple that we're building will have the largest kirtan hall in the world. It's over 1.5 acres. So for people to come and experience that is extremely important.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama.
What we want is that this Adbhut Mandir, or this extraordinary temple, should be built in an extraordinary way.
Srila Prabhupada asked me to help finance this temple. So far, I've put in about $23 million. Right now, we're kind of moving from phase 1 into phase 2. We're asking devotees from around the world and well-wishers from around the world to please come and help us participate in completing this temple.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama.
Srila Prabhupada said, sources of fund means that we collect all over the world. And he also said, all of our branches will gladly contribute.
We have divided up the construction of this temple into square footage. So the total construction of this temple is 425,000 square feet. That's how big it's going to be. Half is already built. The other half, now we need 250,000 square feet to be constructed. So we're looking for those 250,000 enthusiastic devotees, spiritualists, people of humanity to come forward and donate $150, which is the cost of construction. Here, with $150, you practically can own 1 square foot of this great temple that will stand generations after generations. The world is becoming bombarded with negative news, with negativity, with bad things happening all around us. Only a few moments in our lives we have an opportunity to see, to witness, or to participate in something grand, in something positive, in something that we can leave behind, that our children, our grandchildren can be proud of. And this is that one opportunity. We want to build this temple and offer it to Srila Prabhupada in 2016. 2016 is the 50th anniversary. It is the golden jubilee of this society. For 50 years, we have cherished spiritual life given to us by Lord Chaitanya, given to us by our acharyas, given to us by these great scriptures, given to us specially by this great personality, Srila Prabhupada. So as an offering to him, we want to give him this, that my dear sir, all together, so many of us, we have put this temple together for you so that the world can benefit. And this is our gift of gratitude to you in this 50th anniversary.
This Mayapur temple is actually going to be a very historic and significant contribution to the culture of the world.
Eventually people from all over the world would come here to Mayapur, West Bengal, India, and see that as a source of real education and knowledge about the purpose of human life and how to fulfill its potential.
Presence of this temple, the manifestation of this Adbhuta Mandir will draw out increased potency from Panchatattva because more people will come here.
Lord Chaitanya came to show everyone the ultimate expression of love. And I mean, that's a driving force in the whole world for everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for being patient and hearing this presentation. And I'm very impressed myself, even though I've been to Mayapur many times. In fact, I'm going back in February. And it is actually a miracle how this temple is going up. And it is true that this temple will change the course of history, not only of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, but actually for the world. Because it will make a statement, as that young girl from China said, as that young granddaughter of Srila Prabhupada said, that it will be the Big Bang that ends the Big Bang Theory, which is what we need. If there's a Big Bang in your kitchen, it would destroy the kitchen. So we're going to do Big Bang to the Big Bang. And establish the fact that everything comes from Krishna. It doesn't come from nothing, and it doesn't come from a Big Bang. It comes from a person. And that person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara, who is Satchitananda Vigraha, his transcendental body made of Satchit Ananda, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. And all those energies of the Lord are infinite. Therefore, he can expand infinitely. And now we want to see the expansion of this temple, which is the desire and offering of Srila Prabhupada to his Guru and Lord Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu, and the entire Vaishnava Sampradaya, Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya, to establish the prominence of Lord Chaitanya as the Yuga avatar in Kali Yuga. So we want to help, and we will help as a community. We actually have a very generous community, and I hope everyone will be very generous. I personally, I'm going to donate 5 tiles, so tonight, and I'll pay. Everyone can donate whatever they want. Of course, Radhika Gopinath is very enthusiastic. He said everyone should donate 5 tiles, but we'll do whatever we can, whatever your heart inspires you to do, because when you go to Mayapur and you see what's happening there, you will realize it will change the course of history. Just like the Hagia Sophia church built by Byzantine emperors in Istanbul changed the course of history. Hundreds and millions of people converted to Christianity. They would come from the countryside and they see this unbelievable temple, and they would just be awed by it, and they became Christians. Right? It's the history of the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul during the Byzantine Empire. So this is going to be greater than that, because there are many more people in India, and Mayapur right now has become a magnet, not only for the people in Calcutta, but from all over the world. Mayapur and Vrindavan. This is Prabhupada's mercy. Vrindavan, when I first went there in 1973, it was a little village. No one went there. Very few people went there. They all went to Agra. Now Mayapur, Vrindavan has developed unbelievably. People are crazy for Krishna. They're coming from all over the world. You walk down the street in Vrindavan, you hear more Russian and Ukrainian and Chinese spoken than English or Hindi. There are people from all over the world, Japanese people, Chinese people, everywhere, because of Prabhupada's mercy. And even more incredible will be the development of Mayapur. The first time I went to Mayapur was 1973. I was there when they laid the foundation. I was there. Yes. And I saw that. So, as a congregation, we have a genuine obligation to help build this temple. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Hare Vilas Prabhu. For a leader of a community who has such a heart, and when seeing the presentation, this is the condition that he is not able to speak anymore. I have no doubt that this community of Seattle, this Vaishnav community, will shine strong and get the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you will become exemplary in your sacrifice and donation and contribution to make sure that this temple is not delayed in its opening even by one day. This is the sankalpa we should make. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Konteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashati. You declare it, Konteya, Arjuna, my devotee never perishes. So if a devotee makes a sankalpa, a true genuine sankalpa in his heart, Krishna gives the strength. He will give the strength to all of you to participate, to contribute, to be part of this wonderful project. So your children, your grandchildren can be proud of you that my grandfather built this temple, my great-grandfather built this temple. When you visit Mayapur with your family, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will welcome you that here comes the family that built my temple. He will not say, here comes the family that gave me 5 square foot. Krishna is not like that. Just like Prabhuji was saying this evening, Om Purnam Madaha Purnam. Everything for Krishna is Purnam. You do so much for Krishna, He takes it to be the whole. That is how you will be welcomed. We do not want to go to Mayapur thinking we are visiting a museum that was built by Mr. Ford. No, we want to go to Mayapur thinking we built this temple, we contributed, we sacrificed, and that is how the temple would be built. That will be the sweetness. In such a temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will personally reside for 10,000 years, because it will be built with stones of sacrifice and love. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, we have a table at the back. So Nanda Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, is traveling all over the world also doing the seva. And for those of you who wish to contribute tonight, we also take credit cards. You can go see him, or you can take a form. You can also go on TOVP.org. Yes, it's right there. And you can contribute on the website also. We will be sending a certificate to everybody who contributes as many square feet as you want, which you can proudly put in your home, seeing yourselves as owners of this temple, that yes, I contributed, I built, I helped to build this temple. Let us all make very, very serious sankalpa that we must all participate. We must not be left out in this great Mahayagya of seva, of temple construction in Sridham Mayapur. Don't be left out. So this is our request. Please take the forms or visit Prabhuji and make your contributions, or at least you start your contribution with whatever. And you can give money every year, every 6 months, whenever you have some cash. Send it to Mayapur. And that will be your seva to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you. How many of you would like to see this temple built on time? Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. And how many of you would like to contribute to this wonderful temple? There you go. Everybody's contributing. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. My pranams.